That's a good question. I don't know. You want me to go back there with you? Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Let's see.
Hello.
Ooh, hi.
Woo woo. We made it.
Hello.
I'm going to resend the link to everybody. I think there was some confusion about last week.
Oh, okay.
So let me just quick do that. I think Alyssa's on her way in. So if we could just wait just a couple minutes, then we'll
Yeah, you bet.
we'll just check. Yeah.
No worries.
Let's see.
While we're waiting, I just want to mention I've got some workmen coming and I don't know what time they're going to arrive.
We have things to accomplish. I cannot believe this is day 4. This is day 4, week 4, kind of the last hurrah in the series here. So you guys have been a blast to work with, and I have really enjoyed. I enjoy this content, because I think it's fun all the time. But I really enjoyed delivering it and just seeing how you guys react to it, and if you're able to incorporate it into your lives. So today we have another category, a couple categories to discuss and learn about. And then I also want to make sure that we have time for Q&A and kind of wrap up and try to tie everything together a little bit. With that said, let me mention that I just dropped in a PDF into the chat section. And Elisa, if it's better for me to email that to you and you email it out to people, I can do that.
Shares. Oh, hold on a second. I think, yeah, you should be able to share it.
Okay, so I think I put it, did I share it to everyone? That's the question.
Yes.
I think, okay, great. So you guys don't need that now. That is just it's just kind of a quick and dirty little bit of notes. I just took a little small paragraph of written notes on each day that we went over. So you guys can maybe use that as a refresher if you don't want to go back and watch the whole class again. If you just need a little trigger. What was that we talked about? Okay, it's in there. So give that a check. All right, so what I'd like to introduce today, first off, we're going to be working on some balance specifically. Yay, balance. All right. So it's important to understand one system of our balance, an organ that lives inside of our ears, and it is called the vestibular system. So I'm just going to hold this picture up here for you guys to take a peek at real quick. All right, show of hands if you've ever heard of the vestibular system. Yay! We've got some, maybe 50%. All right, fantastic. So we kind of take balance for granted, just in general. Like, I'm standing here with ease. This is incredibly easy. I'm not falling over. It doesn't require too much energy. But there's a lot going on with all the software programming in my brain. It's talking to all the muscles of my spine and the muscles of my legs to tell them what to do to hold me upright so I don't fall over. It's really, really incredible. And all the information that's needed to keep me balanced right now is coming from what I see, right? So my visual system. It's coming from my proprioception system, which is what I feel. I can feel my feet, and I feel my joints, and I feel some muscles and skin, and all that stuff. And then a huge amount of information is coming from this vestibular system. This vestibular system senses gravity. That's the primary job, senses gravity. And so there's one inside each ear, deep inside there. It's actually surrounded by bone. And it's really small. It's about the size of your pinky fingernail, right, on each side. And it kind of looks like a snail. There's different canals. There's 3 canals on each side, and there's a couple bulbs on each side. And each one of those parts and pieces has a job. So as we're standing here, that area is sensing gravity, at least it should, right? If you've ever had vertigo, or you know somebody who's had vertigo, that's a problem typically within that system. And if you have vertigo currently, you likely would not be able to stand up. It'd be incredibly uncomfortable, right? So we kind of take it for granted. As we turn our head, right, as we move our head around, that organ gets stimulated in different ways, okay? So each head movement actually stimulates one piece, one part of that vestibular system, right? And the really important part is we need to exercise that system. We need to train it and challenge it, okay? Because if we don't, it's going to go into that stress bucket. All right, it's going to actually start to fill up one of those pieces in that stress bucket, and it's possible that at some point in life, if you haven't been training that system, you may bend over to pick something up. You may turn your head a certain way because you hear a funny sound. And all of a sudden, that vestibular system doesn't understand gravity anymore. Therefore, your brain doesn't know what to tell the muscles to do. Therefore, you fall over and you get hurt. Possibly, hopefully not, right? So, understand, I want you guys to know there's a system in there, and it will weaken with time if you don't continuously challenge it, right? So, we're going to get into some exercises here that's going to challenge that vestibular system a little bit. So what we're going to need, we're going to get into it right away. What you're going to need is a little bit of space, all right? Because what we're going to do is we're going to stand up, right? And know that everybody's vestibular system, it's kind of like the eyes. We're all going to be at different levels. Some of you guys might do some of these and be like, no big deal, this is easy, no problem. And then other people, you might start doing some of these head movements we're going to do, and it might get really windy. All right, you're going to lose your balance. You may start to feel a little nauseous or a little yucky. All right, just know that that is potential. So if you start feeling that way, please have a seat and relax and just breathe a little bit. So we'll kind of proceed with caution, if you know what I'm saying. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We call these yes, no, maybe so head motions. And first we're going to do this with our feet together. All right, so we're just standing up nice and tall. All right, our feet are together. All right, just with us moving our feet closer together, we've reduced our base of support in our feet, so it's a little bit harder to balance already. Okay, now we're going to do these head motions, and we're not going to fall over. You're going to try to maintain your balance at all times. All right, here we go. So we're going to start with rotating our head to the left. And I want you to hang out there for a couple seconds. And then I want you to rotate your head to the right. And if that feels okay, I want you to go a little faster to the left and right and left and right. Okay, let's all come back to the center. Everybody's still on camera. Awesome. All right, we're going to go up and down. So that's the no motion. We're going to do the yes motion next, which is up. So everybody go ahead and tip your head back or up towards the ceiling. And then down. Now really dropping your chin, tipping your head all the way down towards the floor. If that feels okay, you can try going a little faster. We're going to go back up. And down. And up. And down. And then come back to center. Nice. All right, you guys are doing great. So that's the yes motion. Now we're going to do the maybe so. And the maybe so is kind of like a maybe so head tilt. We'll take it slow to start though. All right, so let's tilt right ear to right shoulder like this. Go for that. Good. All right, now we're going to tip over to the other side, left ear, left shoulder. And it's okay if you can't go too far, if you've got a stiff neck right now. Okay, come back up to the center. Let's go over to the right. Go. Right side. Come back to the center. And left side. Go. And back to the center. All right, go ahead and relax for a second. Okay, so we have yes, no, maybe so. So we call them yes, no, maybe so's. All right, and all we're trying to do is activate that vestibular system with the different head movements. Okay? Raise your hand if you felt a little bit of wobbliness, like your body was like, oh, whoa, what's going on here? All right, just a little bit. Okay, good. So now we're going to we're basically going to ramp this up a little bit. So I'm going to make it more challenging for you guys as we go along. So there is going to be a level that you're going to be comfortable with. We want this exercise to be challenging, but we want you to be successful at it. Okay? So next up, we're going to put one foot in front of the other. This is kind of like almost like you're standing on a balance beam or standing on a 2x4. Okay? So we've got one foot in front of the other. All right. We really narrowed our base of support. This will be much, much harder. So I want to show you guys, here's how we change the level for this one. If you're standing totally on a line, one foot in front of the other, and it's too windy already, we haven't even started moving our head yet, I want you guys to widen out the front foot. All right? So now maybe you're standing on a 2x8, maybe even a 2x10. Okay? Recognize you get a little bit wider, but you still have a 1 foot forward. You'll have a little more stability there. All right, have you guys choose. Side note here, you want to practice these yes, no, maybe so's with your shoes on and with your shoes off. Okay, you want to practice both. The best improvements of balance come without shoes on. Okay, so barefoot or socks or a minimal shoe. However, you need to be able to work on your balance when you have shoes on, right? If those are the shoes you wear for walking or you wear for work or out to the grocery store or whatever. So you need to kind of do both, all right? All right, now that we are in a little bit of a balanced position, we're going to do our head movements. All right, here we go. So let's rotate our head to the left. Go. Okay, maintain the balance. Rotate your head to the right. Go. Maintain balance. Rotate left. Rotate right. You guys are doing awesome. Okay, come back to the center. We're going to go up and down now. We're going up and down. And up. Oh, I see it's getting a little drafty in some of the rooms there. It's getting a little windy. All right, let's go down. You guys are doing great. Okay, come back to the center. All right, here comes the tilts, the maybe so motions. Let's go right ear to right shoulder. Tilt. Let's come back up to center. It's kind of nice to come back to the center sometimes. Left ear, left shoulder. Go. I think these are the hardest ones. Let's come back up to the center and tilt to the right one more time. Try to keep your shoulders relaxed. Ear to shoulder, not shoulder to ear. Back to center. Last one. Tilt to the left. And relax. Go ahead, shake out the legs a little bit. Okay, way more challenging, right? Definitely. If you guys are up for it, we're going to switch your feet. All right, so put the other leg forward this time. Choose your width with your stance. All right, kind of gauge it out there. What's going to be challenging, but what is going to be safe? all right? Okay, so we got our stance there. We're ready for our head motions. Let's rotate your head to the right. Good. Rotate left. Rotate right. Rotate left. Gonna come back to center. Good. All right, let's go head down. And up. And down. And up. Good. Come back to center. Okay, tilt. Left ear, left shoulder. Go. Back to center. Good. To the right. Go. Back to center. Good. Okay, take a little break there. Go ahead and shake it out. Wiggle it out a little bit. Nice. A little bit more windiness there. Pretty good. All right, so isn't that kind of crazy? Like how just some head movement really changes the game and really challenges your whole system, right? So you can really start to recognize there's something to the head motion. If anybody is practicing any type of yoga or something similar, even like a Tai Chi, some movements like that, I highly recommend, one of my biggest recommendations is to add head movement to your practice, right? For example, in yoga, very common to practice like some form of a tree pose where you're standing on one foot and you're focusing on balance, okay? Which is great, but the biggest piece that balance training is missing is head motion, okay? So we could go into a tree pose and then you could play the yes, no, maybe so head game. And you'll soon find out that your tree will be blowing in the wind. It'll be a lot more challenging, okay? Now, we're going to go through one more thing here. So up to this point, we have worked on the head movements for stimulating the vestibular system. However, I've allowed you guys to use your visual system for balance as well. So when you turn your head to the left, you can still see stuff. And what you're seeing is going into helping you balance. So guess what? We're going to do the same thing we just did with your eyes closed. All right, now I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be way harder. Like way harder. All right? So we're going to split our feet again. Let's put our left leg forward, our right leg back, like you're standing on that 2x4. All right? And I want you to go a little bit wider than you think, because this will be harder, right? I want you to just take note of your surroundings, right? If you feel more comfortable to, be next to a chair or next to a wall where you can, kind of keep a finger on it and you can check in to make sure that you're being safe, highly recommend it, okay? All right, so I'm going to direct you guys through this. When you're ready, you're going to close your eyes. You're going to do the best you can at keeping your eyes closed the whole time. And if you're closing your eyes right now and you're already windy, go ahead and widen your feet even a little bit more. All right, here we go, guys. Rotate your head to the left. Good, maintain balance. Hang out there for a second. Breathe. Rotate head to the right. Rotate back to the left. You guys are doing awesome. Rotate back to the right. Good, come back to the center. You're doing great. All right, let's go ahead down to the floor. Gotcha, Elisa. All right, head up. Whoa, good. Head down. Head up. Let's come back to the center. We're almost done with this side. Okay, tilt left ear to left shoulder. Go. Come back to center. Tilt right ear to right shoulder. Go. Come back to center. And let's go ahead and open our eyes and take a break. Whoa! Nicely done, you guys. Really, really good. Okay, raise your hand if you felt like that was harder with your eyes closed. Yeah, for sure. All right. So we're recognizing that we use our vision for balance, and when we cut off the vision, all right, we close the eyes, we now are only relying on what our body feels, okay, and what that vestibular system is telling our brain. So if the vestibular system is, I'll just call it weak, okay? If it's weak, you're going to start moving your head and it's going to be windy, all right? So we are trying to strengthen that system. We're trying to train it, all right, so it becomes more developed. So it becomes more of a high-powered GPS system, all right? This is like upgrading your phone so it can use better GPS components to figure out where you are. Interesting enough, that's like actually how the system works in our body. Kind of integrates all together. All right, so yes, no, maybe so. Head motions, we want to practice those with shoes on, shoes off, eyes open, eyes closed, and we want to practice them in a little bit of a challenging body position, or challenging stance. All right, you guys doing good? You're doing great. Okay, so we're going to take one little break from that kind of head movement, and I'm going to show you guys what I call compass lunges. All right, compass lunges. These are really good for strengthening your legs, strengthening your core, working on mobility of your ankles, knees, and hips. They are also really important for training the vestibular system and developing a better base of support and understanding, controlling your center of gravity. So you'll need just I think the space you guys have there will work out just fine. Looks like nobody's too crammed. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start feet together. All right. The leg we step with is going to bend. All right. The leg we step with, that knee will bend, but I'd like to encourage you to not bend the opposite leg. All right, so the first motion is a forward lunge. So we are taking a relatively, it doesn't have to be a huge step, right? It could be a small-ish step forward. The right knee is bending. The left knee is going to try to stay extended or locked out. That's like the post leg. We're going to have a nice tall spine and relaxed shoulders. Good. We're going to, for all of these right now, we're going to try to keep our feet really straight forward as well. All right, good. Easy peasy. Now, push with that right leg so you come back to your neutral stance. All right, now we're going to go right leg 45 degrees forward. 45-degree angle. We're bending the right knee. We're checking our feet. We want our feet going straight forward, like if we were standing on railroad tracks. They would both be straight forward. I'm also going to mention for all of these lunges, you want to try to work on shifting about 70% of your body weight on the lunging leg. All right? So shifting your body weight, your center of gravity, on that leg that you're lunging with. Nice tall spine. All right, now a big push with the right leg to come back to your neutral stance. Good. Now we're going to go straight to the side. So our right leg is going to go to the side. Good. Our right knee is bending. Our left knee is not. Okay, it's straight. We're checking our feet. They're going straight forward. We're shifting about 70% of your body weight onto the lunging leg. Okay. If you have pain issues or challenges, you don't have to. Doesn't have to be that much. Just kind of know what you're working towards. Right. This side one is important that you don't stick your butt out like that. Okay. I'll show you a side view. Okay. You don't want to be like that. We want to work towards being nice and upright, like so. All right, now big push with the right leg to come back to neutral. Good. All right, I'm gonna give you this angle, because I think it'll make more sense. Our right leg is now going to go back at a 45-degree angle. It's going to be a much smaller step. And we're going to bend this right knee again. Don't bend the left leg. Bend the right leg. This will feel awkward, right? Unless you've been practicing these. It'll feel awkward and unusual. All right, our feet are straight forward. We're shifting weight back onto that right leg. This may feel a little off balance for you guys as well. So you'll recognize we're getting into more balanced training. Your quadricep muscles, the ones in the front of your thigh, should be working. If they're burning, you're doing it right. Good. Okay, push with that leg to come back to neutral. We've got one more here with the right leg. It's a small step again. Straight back. Be careful, might get windy. We're going to try to bend the right knee again. Try not to bend the left knee. Feet are straight. We're shifting some weight back onto that right leg. All right, give you a side view. It's like that. It's going to feel awkward and unusual. It'll be challenging on your ankle. It'll be challenging on your balance. Push with the right leg and come back to neutral. Shake that leg out a little bit. These should definitely feel like work, and probably not like any lunges you guys have ever done before, at least the back ones. They're kind of weird. We're going to continue with this left leg. And I like to start with the right leg forward and kind of work it around in a circle. So we're going to go left leg back. All right, left leg straight back. Now we're bending the left knee. Don't bend the right knee anymore. Tall spine, shifting your weight back on that left leg. Being aware of balance. I've got to be able to see you guys here, see how we're doing. Good, push with that left leg to come back to neutral. Now we're going to go back 45-degree angle with your left leg. Good, it's a small step again. Bend your left knee, don't bend your right knee. That left leg should be working pretty hard. Got a nice tall spine. Breathe and just hang out here a little bit, read a book, play your games, do your things. All right, push to the right, left leg, come on back. Now let's go left leg to the side. Okay, side lunge, feet are straight forward, like you're on railroad tracks. You're shifting weight onto your left leg. Don't stick your butt out. Kind of stay tall. Push with that left leg, come back to center. All right, left leg, 45-degree angle. This is a forward 45. The forward directions and the sides, you'll probably feel more comfortable to, make bigger steps with. All right, feet straight forward, shifting your body weight onto that left leg. Push hard with this left leg to get back to neutral. Push. All right, last one, straight ahead. Left leg, straight forward. Bend the left knee. I want to see you guys. Nice tall spine. Relax your breathing. Right knee should not be bent, should be straight. Now we're going to push back to neutral. Really try not to bend your right knee. Try to just push with the left leg. Good, nice. As you work through these, you may notice that some of the positions, for example, if I'm in a side lunge and you get pretty comfortable, you may notice as you come back to neutral that your body wants to bend this leg and kind of use both legs to get back to that neutral position. Okay, that's wrong, right? What we want to work towards is getting into that lunge and then generating force and strength to push back to neutral without using both knees at the same time, right? Okay, so we call these compass lunges, all right, kind of like a compass. We have a north and a south and a west and in-betweeners, right? Working our way around. We're bending just the lunging leg, right, not the post leg, right? Okay, I'm going to pause real quick here for questions, comments, concerns on the yes, no, maybe so head motions and on the compass lunge practice pattern. Go for it, guys. Questions, concerns?
On the lunges that we just did, so
Yeah.
I think a lot of people's tendency would be to put too much weight on the knee, right? So is the best way just to keep that upright posture? Do you lean back on your heel a little bit more so that you're not putting too much pressure on that knee? Does that make sense?
Great question. Super good question. All right, so you really want to keep like all the weight on your entire foot. All right, entire surface of your foot. So there should be some weight on your heel, there should be some weight on the ball of your foot, and there should be some weight on your toes. All right, we want a really good center foot. What we also really want is, we want all the joints to work together. So if I'm in a side lunge, and if I have a really tight ankle, right, or some ankle restriction, it's going to be hard to bend my knee and like push my knee forward a little bit because it requires some ankle movement, right? So you may have a tendency to kind of push your hip back like this and use your hip joint instead of your ankle joint, right? Doing this more often will eventually can actually put more strain on your back and continue to inhibit or not work your ankle, right? And that ankle mobility problem can continue to get worse. So we really want to think about, as you get into these positions, think about, am I using my ankle? Do I have full weight on my foot? Is my knee bending? And do I have some weight with a little bit of bend in the hip as well? Right? Now, I usually tell people that if you're feeling a lot of quadricep activity, like the muscles here are getting fatigued, you're probably doing it right. Okay, it's probably really good. And then a side note, if these are new to you, they will be fatiguing. All right, just be careful on how much you do. Like the amount that we did today, that might be enough for today. You may want to see how your body recovers and how you feel tomorrow, right? Because I have had people do about as much work as we just did and be incredibly sore the next day because it's a very new motion. All right, we're challenging the muscles and the tendons in very new ways, especially those back lunge positions that might feel really awkward and strange. All right, good. All right, any other questions, comments? Yeah.
I'm wondering how often, is this a daily kind of routine for these exercises, but everything too? You know how with physical exercises, you're not supposed to do the same thing every day. You're supposed to alternate days. So what are the considerations here?
Yeah, good question. So there are certain things that I'm going to say you should do every day because I want you to get really, really good at them. All right, this is one of those things. All right, so practicing these compass lunge postures and positions, I want you to develop the strength and the control in all these postures that to your body, it's no big deal. All right, it's easy. All right, and that may take time. Okay, so we did one round today, really focused on technique. See how you feel tomorrow. If you're feeling okay tomorrow, go ahead and do another round. If you're feeling okay the next day, you can do the same thing, or you can probably start to ramp it up a little bit more and go around the whole compass 2, 3, 5, 10 times. You can start use these compass lunges as you're watching your favorite television show. All right. I actually do have a couple clients that read books in these positions. So it's a way for them to practice and builds up some strength as they're doing another activity they enjoy, right? So as your body moves around through space, I want you to be really good at these because it's kind of a template for movement. So if you're just walking around the grocery store and you get off balance, just a little bit, you turn, you grab something, you get off balance, I want your body to be able to react and go, oh, posterior 45 lunge. I do that all the time, no big deal. Right? Oh, side lunge, we're all good. All right, we want that to happen as opposed to, I don't know how to move in this way. I don't have the strength and control in this body posture, and then I end up falling down. All right, does that make sense? So, and then considering, all the other things we've worked on. So day one, like talking about the dry brushing, that should be kind of a quick and dirty, anywhere from 1 minute to 5 minutes of brushing on a daily basis. The vision exercises, honestly, those are on my list of daily exercises as well. However, I'll say that can be overwhelming, so pick one or two. All right, if you can do one of those eye exercises every day and you just rotate through them, that's awesome. All right, that's super awesome. The different joint mobility exercises we did, right? We went through wrists, we did ankles and feet and a little bit of spine and chicken and, right, we went through all these different joints. I would like you to pick out, honestly, the ones that are hardest. And I'd like you to work on those a little bit more. Right? And you could kind of, just in general, you could say to yourself, I want to do at least 5 of these joint movements a day. Right? So maybe I'm going to do my ankle tilts. I'm going to do some ankle circles. I'm going to do my thoracic glides. Do my hand figure eights. I'm going to do my eye exercise. And then I'm going to work on my compass lunges. And maybe finish with a little bag breathing. And gosh darn it, I just did a 20-minute workout. All right, that's kind of what this should start to look like as you blend these things together. But do indeed try to pick out the things that are challenging for you and work on those, because that will, develop you into being a stronger, more athletic body. Right? Super good questions. All right, any other questions before I move on to the next topic? That's good? Okay. Oh, Gail's got one, yep.
Is there an optimal or minimal time that we should hold each lunge? Because as we were doing them, we sort of did different times for each one. And I know that it's probably to our tolerance to a degree, but what would be the minimum?
Yeah, it's definitely individualized and to your tolerance, right? I would like you to work up to being able to hold, just give you an example, hold each lunge position for 2 to 3 minutes. Not that you're going to do that, because that'd be a lot of time. But I'd like you to work up to being that comfortable in those positions that you could say, yeah, I could hang out here for a while, right? Right now, it's definitely to your tolerance. And technique is really, really important with these. So as you're working through them, I want you to take enough time to get set up, check your feet, lengthen your spine, shift some of your body weight onto the lunging leg, recognize that you have achieved the position, you've achieved the posture, and if that might be enough, right? That might feel like, whew, got there, we're good. If you get there and you feel like you can hang out there for 5 or 10 or 20 seconds, then go ahead and do that before you move on, right? I'll add one more thing to that. As you develop more comfort with these are really good to add or stack with some of the other exercises we've done. So do you guys remember the saccade charts where you have 2 sets of letters and your eyes are going back and forth, right, reading the letters? We practiced this I think we did that one on week 2, I think. So as you guys get more comfortable with these new and novel exercises and drills, you can start blending them. So now we could you could put your saccade charts on the wall. Okay? Got my charts up here on the wall. And I could say, I'm going to get into a side lunge position, bending my right leg, my feet are straight, tall spine. I've got my letter charts, and now my eyes are going back and forth. So now I'm exercising my eyes with one of our lunge positions. If we start stacking those things together, stack these components together, you really are going to ramp up your athletic development. It's going to be way more brain stimulating to try to coordinate these things together, and it's going to go into making your body more resilient and more athletic, just moving around. All right, is that useful? Good, good. So start combining these compass lunge positions with everything else. All right, so the last thing I want to talk about today is how you individualize your exercise. Right? How you can make it a little bit more important for yourself. Because you can take all these exercises that I've showed you, we've talked about, and just do them, just practice them, right? And you're likely to get better, especially if they're new things you haven't done before. There's also other exercises you guys have probably done. You take a yoga class, you go for a walk, maybe you're doing some form of push-up, maybe you're doing some form of squatting, stepping up, pulling things, right? All these different exercises, right? Maybe it's in a gym or maybe it's just at your home. And you can just do all those things and hope that it helps, hope that it gets you a result you're looking for eventually, right? And most of the time, you'll get some benefit from it. Especially if it's new and then you get better at it and then you try a new thing, a new different thing, you get better at it, right? But there are ways, I want to show you one way that you can really individualize your exercise program, right? And this is going to go back to, this is very, very much neurology-based and brain-based. So what I want to tell you is, you remember those sensors we talked about? On day one, we talked about your brain being this like software program that runs all of your body, it runs all the muscles, and it's built with all these sensors. And it's constantly taking in all this information from the sensors, and it's deciding what to do with all that information. Okay? So it may decide, oh, we need to put the brakes on. Okay? One of the ways your body puts the brakes on is it tightens up muscles. It will cause muscles to contract, right? We can experience that or observe it by checking a range of motion. So we kind of did this on week one. I had you guys kind of check. We went back to checking your neck out, and some of you noticed that it changed a little bit, and some of you did not. That's one way that you individually assess your own nervous system. If we do some exercises that tells the sensors of your brain, hey, everything's good. Everything is safe. I understand my surroundings. Your brain will then take off the brakes. It will relax muscles more and allow for more fluid movement and cause an increase in range of motion, right? We can observe this incredibly fast and at real time. All right, so I want to show you guys a couple examples, and then we'll try a couple things. And the fun demonstration that I like to show for me involves these blue and green glasses. And now this is very individualized for myself, okay? You guys, we've talked about vision a little bit. So I want to give you guys an idea. One of the range of motion tests that I like to do personally, because I can really see changes in it, and it's really easy for me to do, is a forward fold, okay? So if I go down and I warm up just a little bit, whoo, I am nice and tight right now, guys. Okay, so I'm warming up a little bit and I'm getting a little further with warm up, but you can see right about there, I'm to my end range, all right? Meaning I don't want to go any further. I could push, but it starts to hurt. It's uncomfortable. So right now, that's as far as my brain is allowing me to go. Okay? Now, I'm going to throw on some green glasses. I'm going to look around a little bit, and the information that's coming into my brain is different now because everything is more green. Right? So my brain is being stimulated a little bit differently. So this could be green glasses. This could be another activity like push-ups or dry brushing. Right? Now, I go back to my range of motion assessment. And I'll try a couple times. But as you guys can probably see, I don't want to go any further. All right, so I've lost a good 3 or 4 inches maybe. My back is actually really stiffening up now, and I feel like if I keep going, it's going to continue to get worse. All right? So I know this because I spent a lot of time on this kind of work, and I know that green has a very negative response to my nervous system. Right? I now throw the blue ones on, and I'm going to look around a little bit. All right? I'm now activating my brain in a different way again. All right? It's stimulating it because everything is a little bit more blue shade. And I'm going to go back to my range of motion test, testing my nervous system. And it appears that I can go farther. I found the ground! Isn't that amazing? So, all right, so with the blue, it's still, I've been doing this for a very long time. This is still wild and crazy, right? But for me, changing the stimulus in my brain from green to blue is an immediate change in range of motion. In my forward bend, changes from 4 inches to 5 inches to feeling very different on my body. Okay? So the important thing to realize here is our brain responds incredibly fast to stimulus. And if we pay attention, we can basically ask it, how are you feeling about this stimulus? Do you like this stimulus? Do you not like this stimulus? Should I avoid this exercise? Should I do that exercise? Right? So I can give you guys recommendations on things that you should do and practice. But ultimately, I want you to start asking your own brain, should I be doing it this way? All right? What kind of a neurological effect is this exercise having on my body? All right? So we're going to go ahead. Let's try a couple of these things out. I'm going to have you guys stand up, and I'm going to show you a few different motions that you guys can play with and explore. Ultimately, you want to choose a range of motion that you can recognize changes in and that feels comfortable enough to repeat it once in a while. So we have some options. You certainly, if you're comfortable, you can try a forward bend. All right? If you guys want to try that one out, get an idea of how it's feeling. Get an idea how far you can go. How far is your brain allowing you to go? All right? Keep in mind, you're not stretching. We're not trying to stretch stuff. We're just assessing the overall range of motion. All right, so that's one option, is a forward bend. Here's another option I'll give you guys, and it's going to be a shoulder range of motion. So I'm going to take one arm up, and I'm going to take it up as far as I can, and you're going to notice tension or if there's some discomfort, kind of see how far you can get to your ear. All right, you try the right arm, try the left arm. Take note. All right. If you're doing the shoulder range of motion test, you want to make sure you're not bending your elbow. Like, yeah, I can put my hand all the way on the other side of my head. Yeah, but you're cheating. All right, so make sure it's just coming from your shoulder. All right, that's an option for you guys. Another really good option is checking your neck. So we could do a neck tilt. All right, and we'll go a little bit slower so we don't get too much of a balance response. But you could try tilting your head left or right and get an idea how that's feeling. And I'll give you guys one more example. Is to stand with your feet, about hip width apart, take your arms forward, and rotate. Don't go fast. Right? But you're going to rotate your upper body as far as you can to the left. And I'm almost envisioning a scale, right? So like I got to 90 degrees and now I'm about 95, and maybe I can get to 98.763 degrees. And then you can go to the other side too, and you can rotate that way and just see how far you can get. And you're noticing, tension in your spine and your back and how it feels. All right? Is that making sense so far, guys? So I'd like you to pick 2 For our example right now, I want you to pick 2 of those ranges of motion. Right? You get to pick 2, just 2 that you'd like to try. And as you use this tool moving forward in life, you'll probably want to just pick 1, maybe 2, so you can get a quick check-in, right? Now, let's do some very basic movements that you guys have done before. Let's do an ankle tilt. So we're going to go right foot forward, right? Right foot forward, and you're going to tilt to the side, tilt, 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 right? Remember, we're trying to move the little joint that's kind of back by the heel. It's just below the big bony bump on the side of your ankle. All right, so get a couple tilts there. And let's go ahead, after we've done some good tilts there, I want you to go back and check the 2 ranges of motion that you'd like to check. This time you're comparing how it feels compared to the last time you checked. All right, so you can either do the shoulder, you can check your neck, you can do the rotation, or you can do the forward bend. But I want you to go ahead and pick 2 of those. And compare it to the last time you checked. And as you're checking the range of motion this time, what you're asking your brain is, did you like the stimulus? And does the range of motion now feel a little better? Does it feel a little worse? Or does it feel the same? All right. Raise your hand to feel a little better. Okay, raise your hand to feel a little worse. Okay, and raise your hand if it feels the same. All right, so that is fantastic because we had, well, the hands that I saw anyway, we had 1 better, we had 1 worse, and we had 1 same. So that means that even the simple little ankle movement, you're all individuals, so you are going to respond differently. All right? So we can't always just say, you know what, these exercises are good for everyone, because it's not totally true. Right? Now, let's try the right foot again. Same movement, right? But I want you guys to add some speed to it. I want you to move it fast. All right, make sure you're in control, and you can definitely you can hold on to a chair or the wall. But I want you to try to tilt it quickly. All right, quick, as quick as you can. Tilt, 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 tilt. All right, relax. Now, go ahead and go back and check those 2 ranges of motion again and compare to the very last time you checked. All right, so you're comparing to the very last time we checked. Every time we check, you have a new baseline, and you're asking yourself, does that feel a little better? Raise your hand if it feels better. Raise your hand if it feels worse. And raise your hand if you're the same. That is awesome. Okay, so we got 1 same, and we got 2 better. All right, so we added speed. All right, so you guys that got better with the speed, you're learning something about your own nervous system. All right, so we can change the exercises a little bit. All right, now we could go into a round of push-ups. All right. And then we could reassess range of motion the same very way. I could have you guys do some walking, right? I could have you walk for a minute, and then you could check range of motion, and you could see how your body's responding to a walk. You can really use this tool to your advantage. All right, let's do 1 more, and then we'll wrap it up. We're going to do a round of saccades without our letters. We're just going to use fingers. Okay, so I want you to hold your fingers out, about arm's distance. And let's keep them about shoulder-ish width apart. And I want you to look at the very tip of your left finger and then the very tip of your right finger. And I want you to go back and forth, back and forth. All right, go, go, go. Try not to move your head. Just using your eyes. Keep that going. Try to maintain some breathing. Find that finger and focus on it, back and forth. And go ahead and relax. All right, so this is gonna be our last check, last test of the day. Go back to those 2 ranges of motion, test them out again, and compare to the last time you checked. And again, you're asking yourself, does that feel better? Does that feel worse? Or is it the same? All right, anybody feel better after the eye saccades? Like, no, anybody worse? All right, or the same? All right, it's got some same. All right, good stuff, you guys. So if you're getting the same response, if you're not seeing a change in range of motion, on one hand, maybe you're not observing it quite right. You could actually watch in the mirror, right, and see if there are changes going on. Or 2, we're just not actually stimulating your brain enough. Right? So if your exercise routines don't cause any change in range of motion, it's almost kind of useless. So we need to change your movement routine a little bit in some way, right? If you're getting a positive response in range of motion, then it's like perfect. You got it. That's exactly how I want you to practice that exercise. All right. All right. You guys are so awesome. Time flies when we're having fun. We got through a lot. We got through the yes, no, maybe so's, our compass lunges, conversation around that, and now this new testing idea. All right. You don't have to test everything in your life, everything you do, but be curious and start testing some things to get an idea of how your nervous system is responding to what you're doing. Last and final questions, comments, concerns. Throw them at me.
I have something, but I think I should go at the end because I'm not sure everybody else will want to know about this.
Okay, yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
want
I
me to
can.
ask it now and then we can address it after other people's questions, or do you want me to wait?
If you think it'd be better for us to just ask one-on-one, then we'll let everybody else go first, and I'll hang on afterwards.
Well, I can say what it is just in case others are interested.
Yeah, go for it.
I was just wondering more information about, are you located in Madison, and what kind of work you do one-on-one with people in case we want to seek you out in the future. So.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So my gym space, my studio space is located in Fitchburg, here in the Madison area. And we work, here in the gym space, we work mostly one-on-one with people. And typically it's, some of the work we do is like what we've been doing. We teach people healthy movement, nervous system-based health and wellness stuff. And then on the other side, it's oftentimes a little more rehabilitative. So people will come and see us for if you have a shoulder issue that you just can't figure out how to fix. If you have a balance issue that you really need help with, or you've got a very specific goal. Right? You have trouble breathing when you're walking, you want to improve your hiking and you have trouble breathing and your endurance. Right? So very specific movement goal, and sometimes that's a problem or just needs to be tweaked. So yeah, we do one-on-one sessions like that, and you can reach out. I think Elisa can probably send you guys my contact info on that. I also host an online class. If you guys ever want to try that out. The online class, we currently are using a private Facebook page, but I do 2 live videos a week. And then so you can watch the live videos and tune in, or you can watch the classes on demand because they're all saved. Those are 30-minute classes where I teach a lot of this stuff that we've been talking about. You can do them in your home, of course, anywhere. So that's an option too if you guys want to try that out. Does that answer your question?
Mostly, I'm thinking when I do something periodically, I need to check in to make sure I'm doing everything right.
Yeah.
Is that the kind of thing we could work with you on, or not regularly, not every week, not multiple times a week?
Yeah.
And the other part of it is, does insurance cover anything of what you do, or is it all out of pocket?
Yeah, really good question. So unfortunately for some, insurance does not cover our work. We've attempted to do some of that, and unfortunately they just really dictate what we can do for people, and it doesn't work. So it's all out of pocket. We have some people that come in on a weekly basis and work with us, but then we have a big part of our client population that sees us more monthly, or even like quarterly. I'll give you an example that I just saw somebody this morning who's a ballerina, which is pretty crazy and cool. But she is one that checks in with me about every other month and comes in with, checking in on those details. Is she doing things correctly? Things come up in her training, oh, I got this little ankle thing going on. And so we kind of, tweak things and tune things as we go along. So that's really common. Just come in with checkups like that. Absolutely.
I would say too, the best thing to do if you guys have individual questions for Lucas or want to work with him individually, I will send out his email and you guys can just connect with him that way too. So that's probably the best way to do it in a situation like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Lisa.
Lucas,
Yeah, Karen.
What was the second thing we did to improve range of motion? I know we did the ankles back and forth. What was the second technique you had us do? The very
We did the
all
eye
the fingers.
the eye saccades. Yeah, where you're moving your
Eyes,
eyes back
yeah.
and forth. Yep.
Yeah.
And it would.
Both of those were just huge for me with my left shoulder. Really, really, really helped.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. That's awesome, Karen. Thank you for sharing that. I would encourage you guys to go back to try out all the little exercises that we've done in this class and assess your range of motion and see how your body responds to each one of those, joint movements or the eye exercises, so you can pick out the ones that seem to be most important for your nervous system. Right? That's awesome. Super good, you guys. You guys have so much fun. You want to do this again sometime?
Yes.
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 You guys
Maybe we
are.
have to have Lucas do a weekly virtual class. We'll have to figure out how to make that work. If people are willing to throw in a little money, we could probably make that work. So just keep that in mind. It probably wouldn't be able to be a free class.
No. That's it. We're out.
But we'll discuss, Lucas, and see what we can make happen. So I think you did an excellent job. I think you covered so many things that I've never heard of before. So that was super impressive to me.
Very cool. Thank you guys so much. You've been a blast, and your questions and engagement it makes it so enjoyable for me and as a presenter. So I thoroughly enjoyed spending some time with you guys, and I really hope that this goes into improving your quality of life in some way. And I definitely hope to see you guys again sometime.
Yep.
Thank you.
Likewise.
Thanks.
Thanks very much, Lucas.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Hey, Lucas, we'll connect. Sound good?
Sounds good, Elisa. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.